Duo and Endpoint AMP. Okay, two Cisco technologies that can work together. So first thing is you require trusted endpoints to be configured in Duo. And we did that, and we used Windows Active Directory services in the previous video. So if you haven't done that, go jump back to that video and build out that portion of the configuration. Then we're going to go into trusted endpoints, and we're going to add the endpoint detection and response capabilities. Okay. So we'll go ahead, add integration. We'll click on the endpoint detection and response, and we'll add the AMP for endpoints. We need to get a client IP and an API key from the AMP console. So we'll jump in there, and this will be a read-only key. Let's create this, giving it a name, something simple. Duo, it's read-only, and we'll go ahead and click create. All right, so we need the third-party API client ID. We'll copy that into the client ID portion of the configuration on Duo. And then we'll grab the actual API key and we'll paste that into Duo as well. We'll test the integration. We should see success. And we do, and then we'll save the integration. And again, we should see success. And then we enable the endpoint AMP portion. Okay. Now we've got this part built out, but now we need to go ahead and enable it within Duo. So we're going to go into the application of F5. And we're going to go ahead and allow AMP for endpoints to block compromised systems. Go into the application. We'll edit. We'll allow AMP for endpoints. We'll save this out. And just double checking here, block desktop trusted endpoints that AMP deems compromised. All right, let's go to the dashboard. And let's go ahead and test this. So here we're going to do login as Duo Sales 1. And this is a clean asset. So there's no compromise. It is a trusted endpoint. We'll go ahead, send a push. If everything works back, we should get it on our device and accept. And good. Everything worked. Let's go ahead now and let's pull some malware. So I just clicked on a whole bunch of stuff here. I didn't show everything I clicked on. All I'm trying to do is create noise enough to compromise the endpoint. And these are malware samples I've developed, previously. All right. Go ahead now and log in. So if everything's working, we should not be able to get that second factor. Go ahead and hit login. Let's see. We're sorry, access is not allowed. This device has been blocked from accessing this application. Cool. So now we've got this compromised endpoint that a user tries to access a critical application or a secured application, and we prevent that access from taking place. And we can see here in Duo that it actually calls out blocked by AMP for endpoints. So it didn't allow that second factor to take place. Now, if we jump into the AMP console, we can see there's some IOCs that were triggered, PowerShell compromised expression IOC, and it gives you some details around that. All I want to do now is get this box back to normal, right? So I've done all my remediation, it's cleaned up, and now I can mark it as resolved. Once I mark it as resolved, I should be able to go back into the application and log in. Now, one thing to note is that this does not stop the user from using another system that they're allowed to access that application with that has not been compromised, as long as it's a trusted endpoint. Let's log in here and try it again. Do we get the second factor? Are we clean? Look at that. as quick as that asset was compromised, can't access that other application or that secured application, reducing the overall risk to the organization. I was able to go in and clean up that asset as an example, and that application is now available again on that endpoint. Remember, we're not blocking the user, we're blocking the compromised endpoint